Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you all? Just sorry for bit delay. There was some internet issue from my side. Just we can wait for a few minutes and then we can start the session. Okay, so we can start the session now. Okay, so let's begin. Okay. So yesterday we were working on the game over logic. Okay, so yesterday what we implemented? So we implemented the reset function and we implemented the game over screen, the def game. So yesterday we were working on the game over logic. Okay. And we also saw over here in the play the two condition when the snake eats the apple. This will be the condition of the normal which we have implemented before and only. And the yesterday we saw two new condition when snake collide with itself. So this will be the condition when the game shall get over. Okay, and the second thing हमने क्या देखा था कि जब स्नेक जो है गेम का बाउंड्री हिट करता है. ठीक है, कल हमने ये दो कंडीशन इंप्लीमेंट किए थे and implemented the game over screen. So what was left, as I told you before, that we need to implement the background image. So we will do that after once the game over logic is implemented, and we also need to implement the rest game over logic. Okay. So Rishabh, why it's not working? Can you show me the error? What error you are getting when you are trying to implement the background music and running, and when you are trying running the code? Let me know the error so that I can help you with this. Let me know the error, Rishabh, so I can help you with why your background music is not working. Because if you want to implement the background music, then first you need to convert MP3 file into .wav file, what I did yesterday, and then you need to use the Pygame mixer module. Just load the song, I mean the load the music, and then you need to play it. So I have used -1 to 0 because I want to play it continuously in the loop. Okay. So let's now move forward. Now we have here, we have in the run function, we wrote that running equal to get the idea that the game is running. So also let's use one more as pause. So this will tell us, okay, and let's make this as false. So now further we will implement this. See, this is the def run function. This is the function. I mean, when the game is, it takes all the events of the game and just inhibits the same in the game itself. So in this only, we have implement this when event dot type equal to quit, then running equal to false. ये हमने पहले देखा होता जब हम लोग quit click करते. Okay, I mean when the game is been quitted, so the game which we are running stops and the screen gets closed. Okay, so let's write the function to implement game over now. Let's use try and catch for this. Try if game is not pause. Okay, so यहाँ पे हम लोग ने एक वेरिएबल यूज किया हुआ है pause. So we will check that if game is not pause, then we will just play the game, then self dot play. So this is the play function which we have implemented over here. So when this function will be called the play, the snake will walk. We have implemented the walk function of the snake under the snake class. The apple will be drawn over the screen. The score will be displayed, and we will refresh the screen and play the background music. So, and these are the further conditions under play. So यहाँ पे आप लोग कोई प्रॉब्लम है क्या, क्योंकि प्ले और रन इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ द गेम, which I mean this is the part of the game which says that how the game logic is implemented, the def play and the def run. Okay, and these are all the, you can say that the elements of the game what we are implementing different class. जैसे हमने गेम क्लास में क्या क्या एलिमेंट इंप्लीमेंट किया. ठीक है, गेम का एलिमेंट क्या है, वी वांट टू प्ले द बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक, वी वांट टू प्ले द साउंड, वी वांट टू रीसेट द गेम, वी वांट टू चेक द collision. Similarly for other class, for the snake class, we have used draw to draw the snake over the screen. We have used the increased length. Whenever the snake hits the app, the length will be increased. Okay, and we have also used the walk function to check in which direction the snake is walking, and when we used any keyboard element, then accordingly the snake should change its direction. तो ये सारे जो है जितने भी मतलब जैसे स्नेक का जो भी एलिमेंट्स, आई मीन द स्नेक का जो भी फंक्शंस है, मेथड्स है, जो आई मीन हेल्प द टू कंप्लीट द गेम फॉर द स्नेक, so that were implemented under the snake class. और हमने एप्पल क्लास में सिमिलरली वी हैव रिटन द फंक्शन ड्रॉ, वी हैव रिटन द फंक्शन मूव, and we have written the function init to initialize all the default values of the apple. So this is the way when you work on any game, you need to implement in this way only. First you think of the all the elements of the game, that what are the requirements of this game. So for in this game, what were the requirements? There were two major requirements, that we need the apple and the snake. Okay, and this the game class will be common in all the game. For example, अब अगर कभी game implement करो that in which that you need to, I mean, hit all the balls. Okay, so what will be the two requirements of that game? That the two other elements except the game we will name as class ball and class car. So let's take that the car is hitting the ball. So we'll consider two class as class car and class ball. Here we have considered accordingly the class snake and the class apple. Okay. तो क्योंकि ना जब भी आप कोई भी प्रॉब्लम पे वर्क करते हो कोडिंग के, तो यू डोंट गो दैट इम्प्लीमेंट एवरीथिंग इन वन गो. You just implement first the elements of that, I mean the smaller portion, then you just move gradually to the larger portion and integrate those elements. Okay, and then that's help in testing also. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि जैसे हमने पूरा गेम लॉजिक लिख लिया और टेस्ट किया तो इतने सारे एरर्स आ गए, पता ही नहीं चल रहा इधर का कौन सा एरर है. ठीक है. So do you have any doubt till here? Okay, so this is right now we haven't completed the, I mean the game over logic. So right now even I can't run the game because we are still working on the game over logic. See, there's some syntax error. So once we'll complete them, then that should smoothly. So let's complete this first, and then I will just once again explain each and every function inside the class, what it's doing, and the different Pygame modules we have used. So further you can also develop any other game if you want of your choice. Okay, so here we were implemented under the run that try, if not pause, then self dot play, else we will catch the exception, except exception, let it be E. Okay, then we will just call the, for example अगर game pause नहीं है तो game क्या होगा, game is over, so we'll call the show game over screen, and then we will pause equal to true, and then self dot reset the complete game. Okay, so I think it will work good now. Okay, and here we have implemented the time dot sleep, so that's fine. We don't need to do anything in this. So let's try checking this once. Okay, so let's try running the game and see if it works, or maybe we need to implement something more over some. Okay, so the game is running now. I think there's some issue right now, so let's try fixing that. We have called the game over when the pause is not true, and here we have made the pause as false. Okay, so this is correct. So where I am wrong, okay, here also we need to update the code a bit. Okay, the inside the running. So here what we will do for event.pygame.event.get. Okay, so it's key down, then event.key. So it's if it's escape. Okay, then the game running will be false. Okay, and we will check that one more thing over here. If the event key is written, if event dot key equal to, then we will say that, so when the, I mean when we are going to pause the game, or we are going to make the, I mean game over, so the music will be paused. So we will call the unpause function to again play the music. Okay, so unpause, and we will make pause equal to false. And this is when we have called the, I mean, press the return key. Okay, so if the return key is not placed, if not pause, okay, then we will just go over this. So let's indent this under this section of code. Okay, so let's give this tab, so this will be fixed. Okay, तो ये आप लोग को समझ में आया कि मैंने ये क्यों किया? We have just implemented one more keyboard elements over here. Okay, so I checked that whether if the game, I mean if the return key is in play, I mean placed. Okay, so once the game gets over, यहाँ पे देखो, once the game gets over, we are just pausing the music and we are resetting everything. So we want to again play the music, so that's why we have called the pause function under the mixer module. ओके, सो यहां तक आप लोग कोई डाउट है तो बताओ. So do you have any doubt till here, or shall we move forward now? Here you can see that we have used under the game over that pygame.mixer.music.pause. So when the game gets over, we are pausing the music. So that's why when the return key is pressed, so we again want to play the game. That's why we have unpaused the music and make the pause, I mean the pause boolean as false. So do you have any doubt till here? Okay, I think no one have any doubts. Let's move forward. Let's try running this. I hope this will now go smooth. Okay, so this will also be indented under inside there. It's getting crashed. Just, I think we have missed anything. Let me check if I have missed anything. This is okay. So let's try passing the initial length of the snake. And let's say if that works. So what we have passed the initial length over here. When we instantiated the snake class, it's 5. Okay, so let's do this 5 and let's see. Okay, so it's working fine now. Okay, so let me check when I hit the boundaries whether the game gets over or not. Okay, see, the game gets over here and we got the score, and it's saying that press enter to again play the game. So let's try run pressing enter, and it, so there's bit of issue. When the game gets over, we also need to clear the screen and remove the snake and apple. See, whenever the snake hits the boundaries, the game is getting over. So this logic working completely fine. The score is being displayed and if we press the enter key, then the game will be again started. Okay, and if the snake collides with itself, okay, so when the snake length will be very big, so we can test that condition. So see, when the snake collides with itself, then also the game is getting over. Okay, so just we need to refresh this screen in the game over and just display this two, I mean remove this two. Okay, so this is the bit of issue we need to fix. Before that, let's try rendering the background. Okay, so let's try implementing the background in the game. Okay, so we have implemented the game over logic successfully now. So do you have any doubt? यहाँ तक कोई doubt है क्या? Have you understood the game over logic? How we have implemented the game over logic? If you have any doubt, you can ask. Any doubt till here? Because now the game over logic is working completely fine. We need to write the code to render the background. And also we can fix that issue if the time is left, that we need to refresh the screen using flip. Okay, and just we need to remove the apple and snake from its initial position. So that's a bit of issue. We can fix that. No, it should not be that. Let me play the game for you, because from mine it's working completely fine. I ate one apple. I ate second apple, so the score is 7. Now the score is 8. So it's working completely fine, guys. Okay. Anything else I think I need to implement over here. So what I can do, maybe one thing I can more, one thing more I can do in the under the Apple class. So render. So here what I can do, the see here I think there's one issue, that's why the apple is disappearing. So here what I can do, that if the coordinates are out of the window, I mean the apple coordinates are out of the window, then we'll reset it to its initial. So let's implement that self.x equal to this. If let's say self.x, and what's the I mean the height and width of our screen. So let's check that once. That what's the height and width of our screen. So I think that's 1000 into 800. Yeah, that's 1000 into 800. If self.x is greater than 1000 and so we will check any condition, or then what I will do, that self dot x equal to 120 the initial position and self dot y is equal to 120. Okay, if this condition will be true, then the snake, I mean the apple position will be resetted to its initial position what we have initiated over here. So let's try run now running this. Okay, so I think now it's working completely fine, guys. See, my score is now right now 10. So I have at I think about 5 apple. Okay, so ये आप लोग को समझ में आया क्या मैंने जो ये कंडीशन लिखा? This condition, I mean this block of code, why I wrote this? Did you understood this? Why I have wrote this section of code? See here I am just making the check. देखो हम लोग जो एप्पल और जो एप्पल का कोऑर्डिनेट्स डिसाइड कर रहे हैं वो रैंडम फंक्शन से डिसाइड कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो 1 to 25 के बीच कोई भी रैंडम वैल्यू इनटू साइज द साइज एज 40, तो कभी तो वो x मतलब 1000 से ज्यादा भी हो सकता है ना, तो x जब वो 1000 से ज्यादा हो तो विंडो के बाहर चले जाएगा, तो दैट्स व्हाई दिस एप्पल वाज डिसअपियरिंग. So that's why we have implemented this condition. Agar this calculated value is greater than the size of the window, if it's greater than the size of the window, let's write the comment to check if the app calculated apple position is greater than the size of the window. So if it's greater than, reset it to its initial position. Okay, so that's why we have written this section of code. Understood? Have you understood this? Why I wrote this section of code? I think for Apple, we don't need to write this because we are not generating the coordinates of Apple randomly. So have you understood why I wrote this line of code over here? Or if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Please let me know in the comments, have you understood it or not, or still you have any doubt? So if you have understood it completely, we can move forward and then implement the render function to render the background. So I hope that no one have any doubt. Okay, so let's try implementing the code to render the background. So let's write this render function. I think it's a simple thing. Okay, nothing less than the render function. So we will just implement that. So I will write def render. My means the render term is used for the display. Okay, so def rendered background and self. So if you want to use any image, तो पहले हम लोग क्या करते हैं? First we load the image using the image module of Pygame. Pygame dot image dot load, and will pass here the location of the image. So this is the background I am using. Okay. Okay, so we were just writing the code to write the path of the image background dot jpg, and to display anything we use the bleed function. So we will just use self dot service dot bleed bg comma. Okay, so we wrote the render background and let's call this function. When we show, when we are in the game over screen also. So we will call first self dot render background, and I think okay, it's fine. And also I hope we need to call this inside the game over log. Inside the play function. So these are the two cases. So where's my play function? Okay, so let's first render the background. Okay, so have I used over here self? This is correct. Where I display this, yeah. So I think this will work now. Let's try running this. So I think there's some issue. That's why it's not working. Let me check it out once. Hmm, so uh, so now we are just using the render background. So we need to remove this to fill the screen. Okay. So this is fine now. Okay. So here also, if we have used the function to fill the screen inside the Apple class, no. So I hope now it will work. Yeah, see now the background is being displayed. So the game is looking awesome now. Okay, so are you able to see it now? It's working completely fine, and we have implemented each and every elements of the game. I am just doing this in my laptop. Okay, see now this is working completely fine. The snake and the apple is also not being displayed when we are using the background, because abhi kya ho raha hai, when the game gets over, first we are displaying the background. Okay, so see over here, when the game gets over, first we are rendering the background, and then we are rendering this message. So nothing, the snake and the apple is not being displayed. So that issue has been also fixed after using the render. So where's my game window? Yeah, so here's my game window. Hit press enter and see the game restart. Okay, so the game also restarted when I press enter. And let's press escape and try see if the game gets quitted or not. Okay, so when I press that, that also gets quitted. So I think the game has been completed now. So this was the all complete code of the game and the complete logic we have used in the game to implement each and every parts. Okay, so do you have any doubt till here? Today just we saw two things. Okay, we just completed the game over logic, and then we have just implemented the background image. So do you have any doubt in this? If you have any doubt, you can ask, please. Any doubt? What error are you getting? Okay, I will paste my link. Just give me a moment. So you will get the pastebin link of the code in the comments. Okay, so do you have any doubt till here? नीचे बैठ उधर बैठते मत बैठ So any doubt till here? We have completed the game, guys. And it's working completely fine as we expected. So do you have any doubt? So just I will go again once through the code, okay, and I will make you understand if you were having any doubt. I will just brief about each class and each function we have implemented under this game logic, okay. So let's begin with the Apple class, okay. So in the Apple class, I told you that whenever we write a class in a Python, first we need to set the default values of any class and the methods that are using that class. Okay. So in the Apple class, we have set the default value as the parent screen size. So what's the parent screen of the Apple, where the Apple will be placed. Okay. Then we have just loaded the image of the Apple and set the X and Y coordinate. Okay. So this was the init function which we have implemented in the Apple class. Then we wrote the draw function for the Apple class in which we just place the apple over the screen of the game. Okay. And then we wrote the move function of the Apple class to check whenever the snake eats the apple. Okay. So the apple should change its position randomly. So that's why we have used the randint function over here to choose any value and to set the X and Y coordinates randomly. Okay. And then we have implemented this condition right now to check that if the calculated position of apple is greater than the window size, then it should be reset to its initial position. So this was the about the Apple class and the function we have implemented under the Apple class. Okay. So let's move forward with the snake class now. Under the snake class, again we did the same thing. First we have initiated a default value for the snake. So we have set the parent screen, we have loaded the image of the apple, and we have changed the default direction of the apple, snake, as down. So when the game will start, the apple, the snake will start moving down. Okay. And then we have just initiated the length of the apple and X and Y coordinates of the apple.
हाँ दुकानदार बाहर खड़ा था वही वाला
Okay. Then further we have wrote this to check the direction of the snake, in which snake, I mean in which direction the snake is walking. Okay. And then we wrote this walk function.
चेंज करके उसके सामने ही करनी है, भूल गई.
Then we wrote this walk function under the snake class to make the snake walk automatically. So just we need to use the keyboard elements to change the direction, but the snakes will work automatically. So that's why we wrote the walk function inside the app, I mean snake class. Okay. And then we wrote this draw function over here, similar as the apple function. So this draw function is also used to, I mean, display the snake over the game window. Okay, this was the 4 functions of the snake class, and the final function is that whenever the snake eats the apple, so we need to increase the length of the snake. That's why we wrote this function, that whenever the snake eats the apple, the length will be increased by 1, and also the coordinates will be get appended for the snake. Okay, so this was the snake and the apple class. I think it's quite clear for you now why we wrote different function for the snake class and what each function of the snake class and the apple class is doing. So let's move forward with the game class now. Okay, so inside the game class, first we have just initiated the pygame module. Okay, and after that we have set the caption of the game. So जब भी हम लोग game ये run कर रहे हैं, you can see here the caption as snake and apple game. Okay, so that's why we have used that to set the caption of the game window. Okay, and then we have just set the window size of the game. So you can also alter this window size if you want. You can set this anything else, maybe 1500 by 1000 or 1200 by 800. So this is used to set the window size, and we have just called the snake class and the apple class because we are going to use this over here. Okay, and then right now we wrote this function render background to display the background image inside the game. Okay, and this function is used to play the background music. So this, which we saw yesterday, how we can use the pygame mixer module to load any music inside the any game and play that music. Okay, and we wrote this function play sound to just use this two simple tone, that whenever there is a crash, I mean whenever the game gets over, the crash functions will be displayed, I mean sorry, played the crash sound. And when the snake eats the apple, the ding sound will be played, which you can see when you are running the game. So here you can see that whenever the snake eats the apple, the ding sound is being played. Okay, and when we just the snake hits the boundary, so the game is now over, so the crash sound is being played. So this is the two music we wanna play. That's why we have implemented this play function over here, play sound function. So now let's move forward. So as we implemented yesterday, this reset to reset the game when the game gets over. Okay, and then we wrote this is the one of the important function. Okay, so the def is collision, so to check when there is a collision between the snake and the game. So when the snake eats the apple, you can consider that scenario as the snake collided with the apple. So that's why we have checked this over here. Okay, so let's move forward. We have used this function, it's quite clear, to display score under the game. So you can see the score being displayed over here right top. So that's why we have implemented a display score. So you can see that the current size of snake is 5. That's why the score is also 5. And when we eat one apple, the size got increased by 1, and the score also gets increased by 1. Okay. So this is what we saw right yesterday, and I have also gone through this now. We implemented the game over screen. So when the game gets over, you need to display the score, and you also need to display some message that again, if you wanna play the game, then press enter, and if you wanna exit the game, then press escape. Okay. ऊपर वाला लगा के okay. And this is one of the important function of the game logic, def play. So here we have just when the game is being played. So we have called the render background function to render the background. Okay. And then we have just called the function walk to make the snake walk. We draw the apple over the screen and we displayed the screen. Sorry, the score. Okay. And this was the three logic we implemented when the snake eats the apple to check it whether the snake eats the apple or not. This was the condition we implemented to check when the snake is colliding with itself, and this we implemented to check when the snake hits the boundaries of the game window. So these two was used for the game over scenario. Okay. And this was the def run function. So when the game is being run, we also just consider all the keyboard event of the game, and just we are using that keyboard element to change the position of the snake or to move the apple randomly from here and there. So this was all about the complete game, guys, and the game is being completed now. Okay. So tomorrow what we'll be doing, so we have in the initial, in the first few days of the class, I have gone through the basics of Python. Then we started working on the game, and then we understood the modules, different modules available in Python. तो कल हम लोग क्या करेंगे, आप लोग एक बार ये गेम का कोड देख लो, अगर आप लोग को इसमें कोई डाउट हो, so we will go through that first. Okay. And if you don't have any doubt here, then if you want to ask anything in Python, okay, or if you want me to revise any topic of Python, such as if you want that you haven't understood how to use for loop, you haven't understood how to use the conditional statement, then you can just tell me that I have doubt in conditional statement, or I don't know how to implement a for loop frankly, and I will just go through that once again. Okay, so this is what we will be doing tomorrow. So if you have any question till now. Okay. So let's meet tomorrow, and I hope that you will be having some doubts so we can revise some topics of Python basics. And if you have any doubt in this code, then we will go through that too. Okay. So let's meet tomorrow. Bye everyone. Have a nice day.
Hello?